Hey, good morning, guys. We got an interesting video for you today. We're not going to be carving, but we're going to be doing some layout. But this one is specifically geared toward people that get the layout stencils and templates from us. For instance, this one during our recent sale, this one was super popular. So we have all kinds of different stencils like this. We have little ones, we've got big ones. Another one that's super popular is the bear. A lot of people are really loving this, doing really cool stuff with it. But what happens is that once in a while, one of these stencils, when you lay it down, it won't lay flat. If you look at that, it looks like it's got kind of a cup to it. So let me show you how we solve that issue. Because when this thing lays out and you spray it, you definitely want it to be flat. So let me show you. It's not that the product isn't bad. It's just sometimes the product might be flat when it leaves here, but when it gets to your shop, maybe it will be curved. So there's a couple different ways that you can get around that. We're going to show them to you today. And we're going to do several different ones. So first, this is the way that we would normally handle this. This board obviously has got some stuff on the back side. So let's lay this on there. And you can see that it definitely is not laying flat. But I want a good, sharp layout on this. So here's, traditionally, this is the way we've always done it. I'm just going to use this just to jack it up so that I can put some clamps on this thing. Oh, you know what? I need to take that little insert out, don't I? Yeah, didn't anticipate that. I tried to anticipate everything, but I missed that.
It happens.
Yeah, I was distracted, which is not hard to do for me. All right, so now we're just going to pop that little thing out of there. Hopefully, that little insert deal. All right, so that's the way it's supposed to look. Let's lay that on there. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to clamp it down on the corners so that we know essentially it'll be flat at least around the outside. And now we have to take a look in the middle and see if it's flat there, but it's not. So if we were to spray that, all that stuff inside here would be somewhat fuzzy. And that's not what we're looking for. So all I do is I get it all clamped down exactly where I want it. And you know what? Let's put another clamp here. So it's clamped around the outside. Now I don't want to put it over my layout because I don't want to miss any of my layout there. Now what I can do is I can just push down on that, and that should give us a pretty good layout. We normally would be doing this outside. We normally don't spray this stuff inside. However, as normal, we've got huge winds going on outside, so we decided to move this inside because we really need a good spray. And you guys have seen me do this before, if you've watched for any length of time. But that should give us a pretty good layout line to go by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little tiny bit of fuzziness there, but that's because I just kind of missed that where I sprayed. But that's a pretty good sharp line on those little letters. So even though this thing is warped and has kind of a whoop-de-doo to it, you can definitely get a good layout. So that's one way to do it. So let's go over another couple examples. Here's one that is the bear stencil. And again, we could clamp it down and we could absolutely do that. But let me show you another way that I think I have showed once or twice before. This is a product. It's a strip that comes off of here that's got glue on it. And I think this is in our Amazon store. So check this out. This actually works pretty good. So the way that sits on there, it's not too bad, but if I was to hold that down, this would be fuzzy. So it would give us some fuzzy lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some little, and I'm not sure whether this is actually going to show up on camera. I'm just going to put some little strips on here at different places. And that should be pretty good. Now we're going to put it where we want it. And we're going to stick it down. Just put a little bit of pressure on it. And look at that. That thing is nice and flat. So let's spray it. I'm just doing a quick spray, guys, so I'm trying to eliminate as many fumes in here as I can. Because this stuff, really, you should be spraying this outside where you have a lot of ventilation. We don't have much ventilation in here. Now, they may make this says it's permanent, but they may make it in a temporary hold as well. But even with this stuff, and normally I would wait for this stuff to dry, of course, but being as we want to not have this video go for a half hour long, I'm just going to do that. Look at that.
Yeah, that gives a
nice sharp lines. And then this stuff, this glue on the back, you can leave it on there, but also if you don't want to leave it on there, it just rubs right off. It literally will just rub right off with your fingers. I'm probably getting black on the back side. So that's stuff, yeah, of course I did. I should have left my gloves on, but I don't think I could have rubbed that stuff off with my gloves on. I hate that, by the way. Anyway, I spent so many years with my hands when I was carving on site with my hands, my face, I was covered in this stuff. I would come home from 8 hours of carving and I would just be covered in black primer or black ink. But anyway, so that is a really good way. So let's do a couple more examples. Not just big ones, but it'll work on small ones. Now, there may be an instance where, okay, so let's do a kind of a before and after. Let's take the big heart flag and let's do one side. You can see it's kind of, it's not real bad, but I think it's going to give us a fuzzy. So we're going to do a before, and I think it'll give us kind of a fuzzy outline. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. See here where it's kind of blurry, kind of fuzzy. Again, I would have let it dry, but I'm doing this kind of quick. See how these lines are kind of fuzzy? It's not that you can't use it, but because you absolutely can. But now, let's see how that same template will work. Well, let's see. No, I want my glove on now.
Gotta have the glove.
Ryan does not like, well, it's not that he doesn't like, but he gives me crap all the time because I'm always wearing gloves. But that's all right.
It probably is a good habit to be in, but
that's okay. I'm used to it. All right, so let's just put some strips of this little adhesive on here. And see if we get a little bit better layout. Did I get it? Yeah. And any place that you, when you get it set in place, any place that's still sticking up, you can just hold it down with your stick, like I did with that one, with a paint stick. Just put a little pressure on that. That thing's pretty darn flat. That's how I check it, just to see. Over here it could be a little flatter, but I think that's going to be... All right. And again, I wouldn't wait too long before you pop this stuff up and get that glue off the back side, because that it does say permanent. But yeah, see, much sharper lines. I think it looks much better.
Yeah, that'd be a lot easier to follow while you're carving.
Yep. So one more example. It could be that this would be perfectly flat, but you might have a board. Let's see if I can get the angle on that. You might have a board that has a cup to it. Now we know, if you watch very often, I would not want to carve on this side because your router base would hit on the sides. So I'll always use this side. And this is rough. It should be sanded down a little bit. But what if you've got a board that looks like that? And now you've really got a wonky thing going on. So let's see if this this adhesive works for that. This is, again, a pretty small piece. Oops. Yep, that should work just fine. So let's just tack that down. Now you can see that this is kind of a rough surface, so it will stick better if this was smooth. But being as this is a piece of that rough cedar fencing, but that looks pretty tacked down. But now you've got, well, actually that tacked down pretty well too.
Yeah, that's not bad either.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be kind of flipped up, but it's not. This one just doesn't want to, this corner doesn't want to tack real well. So if that's the case, then you can just, wherever you need it to, and that should be pretty decent. Yeah, nice sharp lines. So, and we had not only a bowed board, but we had, this was kind of bowed a little bit too. Had a little bit of a cup to it. So, again, guys, this is just a short video, but I wanted to kind of address this because I know this can be an issue when you're using our laser cut stencils and layout templates. So you can either use the clamp system if you've got big ones and if you can reach it with your clamps, or this stuff works really well. Really, really good. Just make sure that you pop it off pretty soon after you spray it, and then you can just rub that adhesive right off of the wood, and it's back to original, and you're good to go. So, hope this helps. If you have any questions, as always, just reach out to us. Eric at Make It Wood Sign, or Ryan with davesigns@gmail.com. I said Eric at makeitwoodsign.com.
There you go. There you go.
Forgot the .com. If you need any of these, obviously, are all stuff that we make, and we've got hundreds. And we're coming up with, Vicky's coming up with more all the time. These are a great way to lay out signs for graphics, for stock signs. And I know, again, a bunch of you bought a bunch of these stencils during our big sale, and we'll have another sale coming up before the end of the year. But anyway, if you need any of these supplies, please let us know. makeitwoodsign.com, and it'll be up here. The card will be up there. So hope this is helpful, guys. Thanks again. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.